Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just had, I think, debatably the most exciting week of football since the NFL season started. I mean, just banger after banger of a game. Week 16 was incredible. Kicked it off on Thursday with one of the games of the year, honestly.
Yeah.
Put
Oh,
it
yeah.
up there with Lamar versus Josh Allen at the very start of the year.
Yep.
Rams versus Seahawks was just, it was everything I could have wanted it to be. I'm going to start this podcast with a personal confession. Well, actually, we're going to start it by mentioning that we do not have Dom with us today. Unfortunately,
Yes.
he is sick. He's
Yes.
got he's got a eye problem. He could not see himself coming to today's podcast.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
oh, that's the worst.
He's sick.
Yeah, we miss him. It's not a full crew without you, Dom, but we must go on as we review Week 16 and talk about Week 17 of the NFL season. So we love you, Dom. But the Chain Crew podcast is here for you guys again, so thanks for listening. Schmeeks, continue. How did you feel watching your team somehow pull off a 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter and win in overtime?
I have a terrible personal confession. So I was at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I live in a very Seahawk heavy demographic in Washington State. I am going to my local Buffalo Wild Wings, as one does, to watch the Seahawks game and kind of take in the ambiance of a bunch of Seahawks fans cheering. And we were down 30-14, and it was pretty rough. And I looked over at my buddy, and I was tuckered out. It had been a long day, and I was like, man, I just don't want to sit here any longer. And I said, you want to get going? He said, yeah. So I went and I took a leak, and I walked back out. As I'm taking a leak, I hear shouting inside. I walk out, and I'm seeing the replay of the punt return touchdown. And then I watched the 2-point conversion, and I thought, well, shit, because I already had paid my tab at that point. So I ran into my car. I turned on my, because at that point there was like, you're telling me there's a chance, and I got that glimmer of hope, and I started listening, and by the time I got home, it was 30-30, and I watched the rest of it, and I just could not believe it. It was everything I'd want.
You didn't stay with the fans at Buffalo Wild Wings?
My buddy had already left. I actually ran in the parking lot. I ran the parking lot. I waved him down as he was leaving. I was like, they just scored. I was so excited. But
awesome.
yeah, I missed probably the most iconic moment from that game, which was the backwards pass 2-point conversion. I missed that on the ride home. But thankfully that took so much time that
You could catch the rest.
yeah.
Nice. That was nuts. Well, I think that's hilarious. I guess the Seahawks just needed you to go to the bathroom, and then their luck changed around. I was watching the game with a big Seahawks fan as well, and he looked at me, and they were down 16. He was like, it's over. And I was like, you never know. Like, it's really only 2 possessions. Seriously, statistically, it's 2 possessions. You never really know. And then 3 minutes later, the punt return happened, and we all looked at each other shocked, like, holy crap, hang on. There's a chance. So, yeah, that was that. I mean, even when we thought they missed the 2-point, I was like, you're down by 2. You guys stop and you get the ball back. You can still win this game. I still had hope. And then the refs are like, hang on a second, we're going to look at this. And when they gave it to him, we were just shocked. I mean, I was running up and down the stairs. I was shocked. I'm not a huge Seahawks fan, but I was just like, we have never seen this.
Yeah.
Possibly ever in the NFL.
It is the first time in the history of the NFL, and granted, this is going to sound convoluted because you've been unable to have this win condition until I think a year or 2 years ago. But it's the first time in the history of the NFL where a team has scored a touchdown first and then lost in overtime. The Rams were the very first. No other team in the history of the NFL has taken the ball in overtime, scored a touchdown, and then lost.
Wow. Dang. Well, and I think that you guys were the first team in a while, or maybe first team ever, to complete 3 2-point conversions in one game. Did you hear that? I think you are.
I heard a stat that it was like that, but I think it was the first team to do that and win. Was I think the stat, but I'd need to double check it. I've
That's
heard that
crazy.
stat too, but I remember it had a weird condition on it. No,
That's
it was.
amazing.
I want to highlight two, two players. I think something really underestimated about the Seahawks team that I am shocked continues to win games is the special teams unit. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
Shaheed's touchdown, and the special teams unit, Shaheed himself, for a 1 year contract. I'm interested if we'll re-sign him. Um, Against the Colts, he had that massive kick return and then a nice little 12 to 15 yard out that set up the game winning field goal. And then this game, he got everything rolling with a punt return touchdown. So,
He did the same thing against the Falcons when you guys were tied 6-6 or 9-9 at halftime, and he took the opening second half kickoff for a touchdown, and then you guys dominated the second half.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's amazing.
I gotta give him his flowers.
Yeah.
He deserves every bit of the credit for that win. And then it's nice to see second half Sam Darnold. I mean, it breathes some life. And
Yes.
I'm excited just because this is a Seahawks team that beat up the Jags. They beat up the Texans. They just got a win against the Rams. Seeing Sam ball out a little gives me some hope that they can hang. So I'm excited to see it moving forward, but I don't think those demons are exercised yet because, like we said last podcast, the path to the first seed now goes through the 49ers, who looked really good yesterday.
They did. They did. I want to go back. I want to get to our Saturday and Sunday games, but we will talk about the 49ers next. Eagles beat the Commanders. That wasn't a big surprise.
No,
Bears
I think
and
the
Packers.
surprising.
That overtime game was amazing. That was
Yes.
a great game. That was exciting to
I
see.
think-
And I love that I picked those games right, by the way. I picked the Packers to win in Lambeau. You picked the Bears. And then I picked the Bears to win in Chicago, and you picked the Packers. So you and I have been flipped, and I've been right in both those games.
I think we were both wrong the first time. At Soldier Field, we both picked the Pack, and then the Bears won.
No,
Or
I
no,
took I
okay.
took the Dom and I took the Pack. I think you took the Bears that one.
Okay.
But I will say we did have some hot takes on the last episode. Dom did take the Packers to win. You and I took the Bears. So you and I were correct this time. Dom was wrong.
Okay.
Now, a big factor of that and a big factor moving forward for the Packers is not only did they lose Micah Parsons and an O-lineman and someone else, but now Jordan Love has a concussion. So if Jordan Love didn't get a concussion, who knows how that game would have ended. But that was a massive, massive win for the Bears. Pretty shocked. Caleb Williams had a really nice throw to end the game in overtime.
Yeah.
I love watching the Packers lose. So
I saw a post about it, so I apologize to the Packers fans for invoking this memory. It did give me shades of that, what was it, 2014 NFC Championship game with the onside kick to the deep bomb in overtime to end it.
yes.
It was like
think
I've
about
seen
that.
this play out before.
The Seahawks did it to him. That's right.
Yeah.
The
So
Packers were
it was
away from
kind
both
of
those games.
it was kind of crazy. I was gonna say too, not to comment too much on it, but the only thing that shocked me about the Eagles Commanders game was seeing Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt run pretty well against the Eagles front.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say. I just didn't expect I think if anything, I was shocked the Commanders held their own a little bit more than
They
they.
did.
I mean, it wasn't really a game. They got an 8 points at the end, but
Yes. Yeah, fair enough. Going over to Sunday, a couple games that didn't really matter. We had Bengals, Dolphins. Joe Burrow, of course, now shows up at a game when it doesn't really matter for them anymore, and he balls out. Chase Brown balls out. Titans whooped the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The 1 or 2 win Titans whooped the Chiefs. I was seeing the score on Sunday. I was like, is that right? That can't be right. I mean, it's close, but the Titans are winning. The Titans are still winning. The Titans are winning by more. I just kept being shocked. I wasn't watching the game. I didn't realize that Gardner Minshew had gotten hurt. But still, like, I should look at the stats, but I am stoked because, one, again, I love watching the Chiefs lose, but two, I thought their defense was pretty good. The Titans dominated first time of possession, dominated first downs and total yards. I'm shocked by this. And then Cam Ward, how did
And
Cam Ward do?
Cam Ward played out of his mind.
He
I
did.
mean,
He did.
that
21
was
to 28 and
yeah.
228 yards. He had 130 quarterback rating.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was gonna say I think he had one of the highest quarterback ratings of last week. Yeah, I got really nothing to say about it except that I thought the Chiefs looked bad with Mahomes, and it's shocking to me to think that they could be considerably worse without him. But all things considered, this was a good loss for the Chiefs. You've lost your quarterback. He's probably not going to be back next year. To me, it's kind of like it's a little bit of a throwing the glove down. I think you go in and you lose to a 2-12 team. You know, if you're those other 21 guys in the locker room, I think it's, maybe not Jones and Kelsey because they're like, but all these young guys, Karloftis, Tranquil, what tone are we trying to set? Are we going to be,
True. Yes. Couple other games that were close. Bills and Browns. Shadur actually looked, for the most part, looked pretty good. Judkins had a terrible injury, which sucked. Josh Allen did absolutely nothing. Thanks, Josh. I lost in fantasy because of you. But James Cook had a huge game. Their run game they look, that game to me, they actually looked like they might be able to make a playoff run because it wasn't all on Josh Allen's shoulders. And they ran the ball really well. Their defense did decent enough. Vikings beat the Giants. I thought we would win. It was a close game. I'm glad that we won, even though J.J. McCarthy played great and then got hurt. Can't keep my boy healthy, which really hurts me. I still feel like in the AFC, the path is open for Josh Allen. I'm so nervous that he's going to have the same thing where he's got a great offense, but no elite wide receiver. The O-line's kind of hit and miss, and the defense is just not consistent enough. And I really don't want to see it, but I'm just nervous they're going to lose in the first or second round like they always do. I hope I'm wrong. They ran the ball really well. James Cook is amazing, but we'll see on that.
To that point, in terms of help, Josh Allen, first team All-Pro quarterback this year. That might have been a little bit of bias, but second team All-Pro, I don't think any bias involved James Cook. That's right where he deserves to be, right behind Jonathan Taylor. He reminds me so much of Dalvin in his prime.
He does.
It's uncanny how similar they are,
Yes.
and they both are incredible. So I hope that I think James Cook will continue to be just incredible, and yeah, like you said, we'll see in the playoffs. Vikings Giants. J.J. McCarthy had a cool hurdle touchdown for you.
He did.
But like you said, it was a little bit of a tough watch. Some good defenses.
Yes, for sure. I was a little nervous that Chargers-Cowboys game. I had a little money on it. My dad had picked the Cowboys, and I had picked the Chargers. And I was like, I don't know. This game was close. In the second quarter, it was like 17-17 at half or 17-14 at half. And then the Chargers just turned it on. They looked like a team that really could show up and make some surprises in the playoffs. I was excited when Herbert just started playing. And Omarion Hampton coming back is massive for that team. You watch him run the ball, he runs powerful. He is strong. Yes. He's not afraid of contact. He is a good stiff arm. He's not as big, but he reminds me of a young Derrick Henry, where he is like, I'm going to run hard and I'm going to run fast. I'll run through you or I'll run, kind of to the side of you and stiff arm you, but it's going to be hard for you to take me down. I think he's huge for that team, and I'm excited to see what they can do with it because Herbert is amazing. So if they have two amazing guys on offense and a defense that can hold the Cowboys to 17, that's dangerous. It's pretty dangerous.
And something to throw out too, Omarion Hampton, I don't have the stats on this. He catches a lot of swing passes. He's a terrific dump-off option for Herbert. He caught a touchdown again this week. Really interested, like you say. I mean, we know dual-threat running backs are just – I know it's – as a guy who has to watch the Seahawks sacrifice 50 to 100 yards to CMC every game. It's tough to stop. So I'm curious to not comparing him to CMC, but curious to see what that that option for Herbert, that weapon, adds up to. And like you said, he adds an element of violence when he finishes the runs. That I think running backs outside of your O-line are the next position up to bring a culture of violence to your team. And I think O'Marion really brings that for the Chargers. So I'm stoked. I'm curious to see, too, where he goes. I think he's going to be bottom. I think he's going to be pick 8, pick 7, pick 9 next year in fantasy football. O'Marion is an interesting prospect.
I like that. Yeah, that might be a little high, but I agree. I think he'll be a first or second round pick. Panthers at Bucks, huge divisional game. The Bucks were healthy and they still lost. I was rooting for the Panthers, but part of me was like, something's got to click for the Bucks, and it's probably going to be this game, and it just didn't click. I don't know if it's Baker. I don't know if it's the O-line. It might be both. I don't think their defense is very good. Their defense has really not shown up the last couple of weeks. I wanted the Panthers to win, but I didn't have a lot of faith in it. Panthers win by 3 and have a 1-game lead in the division. How are you feeling? Who are you rooting for that game?
I was rooting for the Panthers, and I got no reason except so it's kind of frustrating because the Seahawks have to play the Panthers next week. The Panthers did a very real solid for the Seahawks beating the Rams. The Seahawks would not be the number 1 seed right now without it. So I kind of want I want that game to mean something for the Panthers, and I want to see them win the South off of that. I have no other reason than that. I also just, it's tough to see. I don't understand what happened to the Bucs offense. They gave the Seahawks defense as much. It was them and Stafford who really obliterated the Seahawks defense, and now it's like they can't even put points on anyone.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know, maybe they are missing some O-linemen now, or maybe Baker Baker had a little more juice or something, or I don't know, but I agree with you. Like the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, the Bucs were on fire offensively, and they are definitely fizzled out.
Baker's running for his life these days. He's not even throwing it down. I mean, his rushing, it reminds me of Patrick Mahomes almost when he started running, and I was like, whoa, where is this coming from? But not that Baker runs a lot, but you get my point.
True. There's a couple of hot takes we need to go back to that we missed. So you thought that Tua and Joe Burrow would combine for 8 touchdowns. Well, Tua didn't play. Joe Burrow did have 4 touchdowns, so that's decent for you. You and I both picked the Titans to win. Dom picked the Chiefs. So Dom's 0 for 2 on those. You and I picked both the Bears and the Titans. We were right on those. I said the Raiders will end with 3 points or less. We haven't talked about this game yet, but I was definitely wrong on that one. And then you said Panthers would have 3+ turnovers on the Buccaneers, which I don't think that happened.
I don't know. Let me pull up the box score real quick.
And then we'll talk about this game later. But you and I did take the Patriots to win, and Dom took the Ravens. So Dom unfortunately missed all 3, and you and I were 3-0 for our picks on some of those close games last week. But
the Bucs had 1 turnover, so that was I missed. But I'm
staying
sorry.
In that division though, Saints 29 points over the Jets 6. What is going on with the Saints? When it doesn't matter anymore, they win 3 straight. They're balling out. What is happening?
I sent you they and what's crazy too is it's really interesting. I sent you a couple memes on it because I thought it was so funny. But I don't know what to make of it, but it's funny and I like it that the Saints
Yes.
are on a pretty nice winning streak at 5-10, and hopefully they can keep it going. I'm curious to see how this, because you think it's meaningless, but you also to an extent think it's not, because if you're a Saints fan and if you're in that Saints organization now, suddenly you have to be approaching this draft differently, because Tyler Shuck is winning.
Yes. He is looking better and better. He just slowly, like a lot of rookies and second-year QBs, it takes time, and he's just slowly looking a little bit better. And Chris Olave is not getting hospital balls thrown to him, And even with Kamara not there, the running backs have been decent. Their defense is starting to show up and shut some teams down. And again, I always want to support BSU alums. So, like, good for Kellen Moore. They were playing the Jets. Let's keep that in mind. But I'm pretty stoked for the Saints. The surprise of the week for me was this next game. Jags over the Broncos by 14. Man, oh man. You know, Dom, I got to shout out him on this one. He picked Trevor Lawrence to be his comeback player of the year, and he's looking like it. Trevor Lawrence is playing amazing right now. And another credit to Dom, as he's always said, teams that are hot at the end of the year and go into the playoffs hot usually make a run. I feel like the Jags could really make a run. This is a legit. They looked really good all facets of the game.
Yeah, I in the Broncos too. I mean, statement win over a team that just handled the Packers.
Yeah, well, they were 11 straight
win.
wins.
Yeah. So very impressive win for Trevor, for the Jags. The fact that Trevor Lawrence was so efficient, no turnovers, 3 touchdowns, or was it 4 touchdowns? Because he rushed for 1 too.
Rushed for 1, threw for 3.
I mean, he's turned into. I think brings him to 10 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, which is crazy.
It is
because. So, like you said, I mean, suddenly you really got to pay attention to the Jags. I'm kind of scared because I remember early in the season when the Jags played the Seahawks, I think they got 7 sacks against Lawrence, and I thought, you know, it's not real, but I'm wondering if this team figured something out, because they really negated this Broncos pass rush.
Yes, I was going to say, I did not expect the Broncos defense to give up 34 points. That defense has been really stout for most of the year. But again, like, I mean, to lose or to win 11 straight games and then to lose at home might be the shocking loss that the Broncos need to kind of shift their mindset and get knocked down a little bit before the playoffs. Sean Payton's probably in that office like, that actually was a good thing for us. So we'll see. Maybe Broncos come out stronger and learn from it. Falcons, Cardinals, who cares? Steelers over the Lions with an insane ending to the game. Oh my gosh, that Steelers offense looks decent. They're still first in their division because the Ravens lost. I don't like that we're going to have the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, but
right.
Over
Burrow and over Lamar.
Yes, I'm like, come on.
Let's redline it. I'd rather see the 5-9 Bengals in there instead of the Steelers. Honestly,
I'd rather see the Saints. I'd rather see a bunch of other teams.
Get me some college football rules on this real quick.
Yes, but
the Steelers aren't deserving.
You know what's funny? My dad and I were talking about this. It really doesn't matter, I think, but you're going to be surprised when you hear this. The Vikings are 7-8. The Lions are 8-7. The Detroit Lions have one more win than us.
I didn't know you were 7-8. That's pretty
We've won
crazy.
3 straight. Yeah, we were 4-8. So, again, our season doesn't really matter. I think it's a wash. The Lions are starting to look like their season's a wash too. But I was impressed with the Steelers, and I don't like that because I don't want Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Good for Tomlin. Whatever. Keep your 500 or better season streak going. Okay, good for you. Who cares? But, like, I would rather have a more exciting team with more exciting quarterbacks like Joe Burrow or Lamar. But we might be stuck with the Steelers.
Well, and I think something really impressive, too, was how their backup stepped up in place of TJ. Sawyer had the Lions went for it on 4th down, and Sawyer had a massive stop in place of TJ Watt. So I want to give that name a shout out. Kenneth Gainwell. That was
my gosh.
a nutty play.
Oh, my gosh, what a catch. Crazy.
Aaron Rodgers sprinkles fairy dust whenever he has to throw a Hail Mary. I mean, the way he ends halves consistently with touchdowns is crazy. And then, obviously, that last play was controversial and nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I was watching it thinking, like, why didn't they blow the whistle? He had forward progress. He got stopped at, like, the half-yard line. He clearly was not in. So, in my mind, Amon-Ra didn't score. So, when he got driven back, they should have blown the whistle. And it seemed like they let it go a second or two too long in my mind because then he pitched it. Goff just caught it, dove in, And so Goff obviously scored, but I thought they must have blown the whistle before that pitch. And when the ref said the play is a touchdown, I was like, holy crap. So they didn't blow the whistle. They counted the pitch. And the only reason they didn't score is the offensive PI. That's crazy to me. If you don't call offensive PI and that's how the Lions would have won that game, we would have been losing our minds. I mean, that play and the Seahawks play, two of the most bizarre plays to change a game that we've ever seen, and they happen in the same week.
Yeah.
God, I love football.
Yeah. And one other thing, I mean, probably the most noteworthy thing was DK Metcalf assault and battery on a fan.
Yes. Yeah, that was so aggressive and out of nowhere. And I love that the Steelers just have constant problematic diva receivers. It was George Pickens fighting defenders and fans every game consistently, and now it's DK Metcalf playing fine or playing well, but every other week just deciding to lose his mind and scream at a fan or fight a fan or punch a fan or what else? It's just like, why, man? Why? You're good at football. You're making so much money. Just chill.
It's a CTE demon, and it inhabits their locker room.
It's the ghost of Antonio Brown taking over his mind.
Yeah, I think Antonio he did some ritual that started, but went Antonio to Juju Smith, to Chase Claypool, to George Pickens, to DK. It's just there's something, it jumps from receiver to receiver.
Only in Pittsburgh, though. I hope Adam Thielen is not next. Last couple games for the week was Raiders at Texans. That game was so close. The Raiders played them hard. Texans pull out a win, but barely. Patriots, Ravens, 49ers, Colts. I didn't watch either of these games, to be honest with you. I was checking the score. Patriots pulled off pretty much a comeback win. Big surprise that the Ravens would choke a game in the third or fourth quarter. It's all they do. But Drake May keeps freaking balling, man. And
he looked good.
Wow.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was shocked on. First off, I was shocked at how well Derrick Henry ran on him. Early in the game, Henderson went down for the Patriots, and Lamar Jackson went down for the Ravens. So it was Snoop Huntley for a lot of the game for the Ravens, and they ran Derrick Henry, and he got a lot of yards and touchdowns. He had a pretty critical fumble. Drake May had a fumble and I think an interception in the first half.
Yep.
His last touchdown drive, he made some crazy throws. He looked phenomenal. I'm interested in it. It's definitely, I gotta say this because Dom's, I know Dom's probably not. He's not here. I don't want to say it because he's not here. I'd say if he was here. They played tight enough against a team with Snoop Huntley instead of Lamar Jackson that I am slightly concerned about them when they get into playoffs. With that being said, anything can happen. And Derrick Henry is still that guy at 31-32. So, I don't know if any running back could have done that to him, but it might have just been him.
I've got a funny story that involves Derrick Henry. Two funny stories. One comes from another creator that I watched a video of, and it's him making fun of John Harbaugh, and they're like, okay, Harbaugh, this is Derrick Henry. He is the best. He's been amazing. He has 2 touchdowns for you. He's awesome. And John's like, okay, cool, great. I love that. And they're like, okay, you need to go down and drive and win the game to beat the Patriots. What are you going to do? And he's like, not let Derrick Henry touch the ball ever again. Because after he scored that second touchdown, Derrick Henry didn't have another snap or didn't touch the ball the rest of the game.
That's
so
wild.
I know if you're a Ravens fan, he had 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. The other thing that's funny is I traded Justin Jefferson away and got Derrick Henry in our Nuns Fist League. Shout out to Ducky. Ducky and I are now facing each other in the horse's ass this week because our teams are really, really bad. Well, this week I thought Derrick Henry has not been getting the ball. He's not playing well. The Patriots defense is good. I need a different running back to start. So I drop Derrick Henry. Brantley picks him up, plays him against Ducky, and beats Ducky to avoid the horse's ass. And so I was like, I'm an idiot. That was not collusion. I was just being dumb. I didn't have any faith. Derrick Henry proved me wrong. But I just think it's so freaking funny that, like, I gave him Justin Jefferson, he gave me Derrick Henry, and we both suck, and it didn't really change the fact that we are ass and we're competing for the horse's ass. But I can't believe they didn't give Derrick Henry the ball the rest of the game. That coaching team, I don't know. They just choke. What is going on? Why is it the Ravens' culture to just choke in the fourth quarter of every game? They did it in the playoffs last year against the Bills. And then they choked against the Bills in the regular season. It's just like, what is with them in the fourth quarter and the end of these games? I don't know.
You know, you think it's probably just coincidence, but it might not be. But yeah, it's been a tough year with Lamar Jackson's injury, anyways. You know. It might be the best thing to just officially get eliminated, let Lamar rest, and focus on coming back the next year.
I would agree. Last game was 49ers destroying the Colts. It was a close game for a bit, but second half, 49ers just turned it on. Purdy played amazing. CMC, I think, had a big game. Phillip Rivers, though, we were talking about this last night. Phillip Rivers he played pretty dang well for a 44-year-old grandfather. He played great.
And he kind of gives you, there's nostalgia. Watching him come up to the line in direct traffic. Hey, Mike, hey, you got 20. Hey, hey, skimmy, Sahak. And then he's pointing out guys. And I think it brings up that really big conversation in football right now is why can't other quarterbacks do that? Younger quarterbacks. Why are these old heads able to dissect defenses in today's game, but the younger guys, aren't doing all this pre-snap stuff? And it definitely makes you wonder because I think more than ever now, especially with, it makes me wonder a couple things. First off, the headset technology with the ability to call plays. I know that's been around since Phillip Rivers was in the league, but I don't know if that was around when he started in 2004. So it makes me wonder if there's like an art to, hey, I have to call, I have to be able to dissect at the line and audible and have this ability that's been lost. I honestly have no clue, but it's fun to watch. It gave me some nostalgia, and he had him in it for a second.
Yep, he did. Yeah, and I just had a thought that I wanted to go back to, which I was going to say something after you said that. I can't remember what it was. It was, I would agree with you. It's cool. I was going to say that maybe some young guys don't need it. I mean, my mind went to like Drake May. Like, I don't know if Drake May is in his second year making those audibles and those changes at the line. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Is Lamar doing that? Like, there are still some really amazing players who can play really, really well without needing to maybe dissect those defenses, like you said. However, like, I think one thing to keep in mind too is like there are a lot more fast and dual threat quarterbacks in the league now. Phillip Rivers is not a dual threat quarterback. He needs to know what's the coverage, where's this linebacker going to go, is that safety going to drop, so he can time his throws and make his reads quickly, because he's not going to be able to get out of the pocket fast like Drake May, like Lamar, like other guys like that who are younger and dual threat. But I love your point. Nostalgia is great. Those were our Week 16 updates. It was a crazy week, such an exciting week. I'm excited for you, buddy. I'm excited that your team is first in the NFC. I really hope they make a run. I want to root for them. I want to see them do well because I love you and because it's cool to see a young coach with a quarterback who hasn't, it's his first year. And you guys haven't, you haven't been that good. You haven't been this good in a while now. So it's kind of cool to see. But I love that we're not going to have the same teams in the AFC as we've had the last couple of years.
Yes.
The NFC will not look crazy different. We're still going to have the Eagles. We're still going to have the Rams and the Niners like we did last year. We might have the Packers still. So the NFC is not going to look crazy different. The AFC will definitely look different. So I'm excited. I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, I think one thing to say to that too is I think what I love about the NFC, I was talking to this because last year the conversation was quarterbacks. You need one. You need one if you want to make it to the Super Bowl. Can't do it without a quarterback. You can't do it without a quarterback. It's all on the quarterback. Well, you look at three of, I think, like the 5 or 6 teams that have clinched right now, all are in the NFC West. The Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks have all clinched playoffs at this point in time.
Crazy.
And you got a team that traded for a veteran quarterback, a team that signed a journeyman quarterback for 30 mil, and a 7th-round pick quarterback. So it's, Mr. Irrelevant. So I think it's kind of a fun narrative in the West. Obviously there's a haul given for Stafford, but, I think it's a kind of a sign of, it's not all the quarterbacks. Sometimes you need good coaching and a good system. So it feels kind of like it feels kind of like a juxtaposition of what we saw last year, especially with Burrow and Lamar being out. Allen is like the last reigning superstar, and he's kind of struggling even.
I'm excited to see some new ones, though. Trevor Lawrence is starting to ball. Drake May is starting to ball. Bo Nix is starting to ball. Like, we're starting to see some first, second, third, fourth-year guys who are really coming into their own this year, which is really exciting in the AFC. I was thinking, though, like, coaching matters so much. Play calling matters so much. Like, I think about the Eagles. Like, the Eagles ran the ball on anyone and everyone all year, all through the playoffs, and then in the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden couldn't really run the ball very well in the Super Bowl, and then the pass game worked. But I just wonder, like, who is going to be that team that makes really good play calling, that dominates the line, and dominates time of possession? Because these flashy 38, 37 games like we saw Seahawks and 49ers probably won't happen in the playoffs. They could, but I think we tend to see a lot more run game, a lot more time possession, a little bit more conservative in the playoffs. So I'm interested to see, like, who are those teams going to be? But I like your point. And now we have got to talk about Week 17. We've got Christmas games on Thursday. We have 3 of them. And then 2 on Saturday. And then a decent slate on Sunday. And still a game on Sunday night and Monday night. So pretty spread out. I thought we only had 2 games on Saturday, because 2 of those games on Saturday are on Netflix. I think the Cowboys-Commanders game and the Lions-Vikings game are on Netflix Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Yes, Christmas morning, Christmas afternoon. But then Christmas night is Thursday night football.
It's on Prime.
Yes, so it's on Prime, yeah. So if you don't have a streaming service, you ain't watching football on Christmas. I'm sorry. But we got Cowboys-Commanders. I think the Cowboys will bounce back huge, and I think they'll win by 17.
I like that. Are you recording that, or you want me to jot that down?
I can jot that down. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna kind of spoil it right now and say, you got the Commanders, you got Marcus. Is it Marcus Mariota, or are they even past him now?
I think it's Marcus Mariota, I believe. I don't think he's hurt.
You got Marcus Mariota, Matt Brosmer, and I don't even know who the Chiefs are going to play.
Max Brosmer, thank you.
Max Brosmer. I'll put some respect on that man's name. But it's I'm not trying to be mean as to the Viking fan. It's really hard to play teams without your starting quarterback. And somehow, some way, the football gods said, that's going to be your Christmas, boys. And they gave us 3 straight where we're missing quarterbacks and we're missing backup quarterbacks. So I might drop a parlay on Cowboys, Lions, Broncos, and just take those minus 300s, let's stack up and try to win $10. I
like that.
I don't see any of these backups winning.
I completely agree.
The Vikings maybe, but yeah.
No, I think our defense might keep us somewhat competitive, but not for very long. I don't know how in the heck we're going to have to run the ball, and we're going to have to dominate the line, which we kind of did last time when we did beat the Lions earlier in the season, but we blocked a kick. We ran the ball really well. So I don't know. I don't know if I see it happening. I think our win streak ends here. I think the Broncos will bounce back and absolutely destroy the Chiefs after the Chiefs got manhandled by the Titans of all teams. If the Broncos do not absolutely destroy them, I would be shocked. So I'll go Cowboys to win by 17. I'll go Broncos to win by probably 17 as well. And then we can move on to our Sunday games.
Saturday.
Sorry, you're right. Saturday games. Really, really interesting AFC matchup, Texans and Chargers.
I love that. That's going to be a fun game to watch because those are
It
two
will.
teams that want to be in the playoffs, and I think they both still can make it in, but
Yes.
a win here is going to help solidify that. So that's a
Yes.
fun game.
I actually think with the Colts losing, I think the Chargers clinched.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
the Chargers clinched. The Texans, I don't know if the Texans have clinched, but they're close.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm just gonna look it up because I want to know for sure. As of week 16, Denver has clinched. Rams, Seahawks, Eagles, Bears, 49ers, Patriots. Oh, so maybe not. So I think that if we're gonna pick a winner, I'm going to go Chargers. The Texans had a close game with the Raiders. Didn't look amazing. The Chargers came off a big win against the Cowboys. I'm going to go Chargers, which means they're probably going to lose. But what do you think?
I like that pick. I'm interested to see it because I think the Texans have a tough defense, but I'm going to give it. I think the Chargers. I truly think Omarion Hampton. Just it's same thing I was saying with the Panthers with Rico Dowdle. When you got a guy who runs with pace and violence, I think it does wonders for an offense. And I think Omarion's going to bring that.
I agree. Ravens, Packers. We are probably not going to have Jordan Love. Maybe. We're probably not going to have Lamar, so this could be a backup quarterback battle. I don't know. Both these defenses have shown some really great signs and then shown kind of some not. It's tough. It is in Lambeau. The Packers are at home. I don't know. Ravens got Derrick Henry. I don't know who to pick here. This is kind of tough. Both these teams just lost close games. And they technically both still have a shot to make the playoffs. I think if the Ravens win out and the Steelers lose out, I think the Ravens can still win the division. And the Packers can still make it as a wild card, I believe. So this is a really important game for both these teams that still technically have playoff hopes. I don't know. What do you think?
I like the Packers a lot. I think I just went and clicked on it real quick to double check, but Malik Willis 9 for 11 last week for 121 yards and a touchdown. Very interesting raw prospect in Tennessee. He's been a backup at the Packers for a while, and he's filled in admirably. And I think he actually started and beat the Titans last year. I like everything about the guy, and as a backup quarterback, he intrigues me more than Snoop Huntley does. And overall, I think even without Micah Parsons, even with the injuries, I like the Packers offense. I like what the Packers have going on just a little bit better. So I'm going to go with the Pack.
Love that take. I would agree with you. Thank you. I think that could be a close game. I don't know if it'll be a fun game, but I think that could be a close game. But I completely agree with your take actually there.
You got to watch it for the love of the game.
True.
You're not watching them at full strength.
So then we've got Sunday games in the morning. Buccaneers, Dolphins. Tua is not playing. Quinn Ewers had 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But the Bucs defense kind of sucks. Devon Achane is still there. I feel like this is a game where if you're a Buccaneers fan, you're like, please, we have to win this game. We could still maybe win the division if the Panthers choke. Like the Buccaneers are like, we got to win this game. We still have a shot. And because of that, I'm taking the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, for some reason, are just going to run the ball all over them, and their defense has been playing okay. And I just think the Bucs are kind of losing their grip. I'm going to go Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dolphins too. I don't know what's going on with the Bucs, but yeah, I don't mean to keep copying you, but I agree.
I love that you are agreeing with my ridiculous takes here. Jags, Colts, huge, huge game in the division because if the Colts somehow win this game and the Texans win their game, I think the Jags and Texans would be tied in the division. Maybe the Texans would be up one.
Oh,
I still hope the Texans win the division. So
I have the Colts. Have the Colts not been? Can the Colts still make it into the playoffs based off your screen man?
let me check here. Right now, I don't think so. The Colts are 8-7. Texans are 10-5. Jags are 11-4. So if the Jags do lose and the Texans win, they would be tied going into the last week of the season.
Yeah, it's one that's curious because if they can't make the playoffs, I just really don't see a big effort from Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
I see him kind of laying down and picking up their toys and going home. So for that, and also just the Jags have played remarkable lately. So I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville.
Yes, it looks like. Okay, I am seeing this just to update my things earlier. By the way, clinched playoffs: Chargers and Broncos, Jaguars, Patriots, and Bills. So we've already got 1, 2, 3. We already got 5 of the 7 in the AFC have already clinched. So I don't think even if the Colts win out and they end 10-7, I don't think they can do it.
I think they need to win out, and they need the Texans or the Chargers to lose out. Is what I think they need to happen. I think the Chargers and the Texans are both 10-5.
The Chargers are 11-4. Chargers are 11-4. And they've clinched. You know what? You want to hear something crazy? Actually, the Texans have won 7 straight. The Jaguars have won 6 straight, and the Colts have lost 5 straight. The Colts were 8-2. This division's probably seen the most change all year. This AFC South division. That is crazy.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. All that being said, I think the Jags beat the Colts.
Yep.
Steelers, Browns. Doesn't matter for the Browns. Does matter for the Steelers. Shadur's looked better, but Judkins got hurt. I think this is probably I hope, and I think this is when he's going to set the record. I think Myles Garrett will get, he just needs a half a sack or 1 sack, and I think he's got the record. I think Myles Garrett will do it, but I think the Steelers will win this game, which makes me sad.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to get it done.
Cardinals, Bengals, this game does not matter. I think the Bengals will win.
I agree.
Patriots, Jets. If the Jets win this game, if the Patriots don't win this game by 21 or more, I would be shocked. I'm going Patriots by 21.
Yeah, give me Drake May 5 total touchdowns on this too.
Ooh. I like that. And with if Henderson doesn't play, is Henderson seriously hurt? Actually, I might need to pick him up.
I don't know. I know he left the last game early. I don't know his injury designation for this next one.
Okay. Saints, Titans. The
kind of
5
interesting.
And 10 Saints, 3 and 12 Titans. Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like they're not good teams, but you're intrigued by the quarterback play. So I definitely see myself tuning in just to see how Shuck and Ward are looking.
Yep, completely agree. I'm gonna go Saints, but I completely agree with your take there. It's interesting for the young quarterbacks to see how they do and how they progress. Big game in the NFC. Seahawks, Panthers. How do you feel about this one? Panthers are at home.
I'm scared, honestly. I think we should win, and I think on paper we're the better team. But the Panthers have they, like I said, pace and violence. They got I think they have a really good dual-headed threat in Chuba and Rico, and they're really good at figuring out who's the hot hand and riding them. You know, Chuba came out of nowhere to drop 2 touchdowns on the Rams, so. We just have to have, I'm curious to see how it goes. I do think the Seahawks can beat the Panthers.
I would agree. I don't know who to take in this one. I'm not sure. I mean, Both these teams are in the first in their division. It matters a lot. I think because of the experience and the defense, I'm going to go Seahawks. I think your defense is just a tad better and more consistent. So I'll go Seahawks there. Giants Raiders game that doesn't matter. Both these teams are awful. However, Genti did have a 2-touchdown game last week. I think they give the ball back to Genti. I think Genti has another 2-touchdown game, and I guess we'll say Raiders win. Why not? They looked all right this last week.
Dude,
Raiders win.
I'm picking Raiders too.
Let's
Especially
go.
with Dart going down. It's a lost season. I don't care about the Giants. I think Gino's gonna throw 3 picks and they'll still win somehow.
I love that. Okay. Last 3 games here, pretty interesting, especially the 2.
Yes.
Eagles, Bills, Bears, 49ers. Massive implications in the NFC in that Bears 49ers game. But let's go Eagles, Bills first. I think that the Bills win this game just because right now I don't trust the Eagles. I think their play calling is not great. They still don't seem to have a great identity. And Jalen Hurts has not been his best this year. And the Bills' run game looked really, really good. I'm going Bills.
I agree. I think the Bills are the tougher team.
Okay, let's let you go first then for 49ers Bears. You got any feelings on that one?
I appreciate it. You saw me throw my hands in the air because I can't stop.
I'm sorry.
I'm really hoping I'm wrong, but the 49ers offense with Purdy has been on a heater. I'm curious to see. I think the 49ers with Kittle, I'm shocked how tough Kittle is to stop for a lot of teams. He's worth like a touchdown at least a game for them. So if Kittle's not in, I think that will be helpful for these Bears. But especially if Kittle's in, I just don't see them. Somehow, some way. It's Purdy, CMC, and Kittle are really all this offense needs to roll people over and put points on them. And defensively, saw Minter's got his pick 6 last week. I gotta give Saleh his flowers. I think that they'll defensively be able to do enough to slow down Caleb.
Okay, I don't like that the Bears are this good, but I think the Bears are going to win this game. I think that they are going to run the ball well. They're going to hammer the run. I think that they know that the 49ers offense is hot, so they're going to try and control time of possession. They're going to try and run the ball. I think that the 49ers has a pretty good defense. However, they were facing Phillip Rivers and the ice-cold Colts. The Bears are hot. I think this will be a great game, and I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers won. Like you said, every single point you made was great, but part of me thinks that the 49ers can't keep putting up this many points, and the Bears' defense has been forcing a lot of turnovers. So I'm going to say Purdy comes back to earth a little bit here, and the Bears win.
If I could give another hot take, I'm taking 49ers by 10.
Wow. Okay. For someone who has really, really not liked the 49ers and been scared of them and pooping on them, I do respect that you're still being objective and you still can see them for what they are, and I know you're scared of them.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I hope you don't lose to them in the playoffs is what I'm going to say. I hope the Niners don't beat you. If the Rams beat you, I get it. I understand. But if the Niners beat you guys in the playoffs, I'll be kind of sad, and I'll feel like your absolutely incredible season ended in a sad way.
this is going to sound crazy. I'm kind of the exact opposite at this point.
Really?
I think I'm growing just with the in terms of player animosity. I think the Rams have the more kind of the players that I'm not really vibing with as much.
Puka.
It's hard for me not to like Brock Purdy's story. It's hard for me not to like George Kittle. It's hard for me. I'm kind of impartial on CMC, and then it's hard for me not to enjoy, not to be impressed by how they've been able to play defensively, losing so many starters from last year. It's just hard. I got no animosity towards them. Like you said, I'm gonna root against them. I don't want them there, but I think that they're a phenomenal team.
All right. Well, last game matters a lot for one team. Doesn't matter for the other. We have Rams at Falcons. Falcons won against the Cardinals. It was kind of a close game. Falcons didn't look amazing. They did beat the Bucks. I think Kirk O'Chains has led them to 2 wins in a row. That ends here. I think the Rams dominate them.
Yeah, it's unfortunately probably not going to be close, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that lightning in the bottle can be caught. Because if the Falcons can pull it off, I'll be watching intently, especially if the Bears win on Sunday. Because if the Falcons can pull off an upset, the Seahawks will clinch the division. If they beat the Panthers. But the Bears and the Falcons need to win.
Dang. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. We got big things coming up in Week 17. Thank you to everyone who's been listening and showing us support and love this season. We appreciate you. Again, we miss Dom. We're sad he's not here and he's sick and not feeling well. But Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays. We, again, appreciate the love and support. Leave a comment, DM us on Instagram or comment on YouTube or whatever you want. But we love hearing from you. And we're going to say adios. We love you. And enjoy football because we don't got too much of it left.
Yeah, limited amount of football games left before you die. So watch them all.
Amen.